Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we are talking about a leaked presidential executive order that could give the US government control over social media. Now, this was first reported by Politico, although I've read much on it from Politico, CNN, Futurism, and a whole bunch of other websites, and I found this actually very interesting. And I've got some notes here. Now, a draft executive order from the White House could put the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, in charge of shaping how Facebook, Twitter, and other large tech companies and social media platforms basically curate what appears on their websites. Now, this is according to multiple people familiar with this draft executive order, according to Politico and CNN. Now, calls for the FCC to develop new regulations clarifying how and when the law protects social media websites when they decide to remove or suppress content, and basically just essentially police that platform. Now, although this is still in its early stages and subject to change, and I quote here from CNN, the Trump administration's draft order also calls for the FCC to take those new policies into account when it investigates or files lawsuits against misbehaving companies. Now, what this stems from is the Communications Decency Act, which is the law of the land right now. And Section 230, basically, and I have notes here, protects companies from legal responsibility for content posted on their platforms, like hate speech, violence, and graphic images. That's essentially why social media companies are generally allowed to moderate themselves as long as they're operating in good faith. Now, by virtue of this could actually lead to a significant reinterpretation of the law that basically its authors have insisted was meant to give the tech companies broad freedom to basically handle content as they've seen. Now, that's basically the facts as we know it. Now, many people are speculating by virtue of this and by virtue of what the president has said in the past about basically that there is a bias in social media. Many people fear, and I quote here, the order would reflect a significant escalation by President Trump in his frequent attacks against social media companies over an alleged but unproven systemic bias against conservatives by technology platforms. Now, I am not actually going to speak to that in the sense that if you believe there's a bias or you don't, or you think it swings one way or the other, that is completely up to you. I'm sure that could stem a lot of arguments. I am focusing here on the facts. I am calling balls and strikes here, forgive the baseball term, but the point is that we have right now Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which allows these sites to moderate themselves, allows the Facebooks of the world to look at their content and basically identify what they consider hate speech, violent graphic images as they operate in quote-unquote good faith. This executive order would then put that purview essentially under the FCC, assuming this executive order was written into law. We've seen a lot of controversy in the FCC in the last few years with net neutrality and some other things. And again, I know everybody's on the political spectrum here. I am not going to get into a political fight, but basically that's the law. That's the proposed change. Are you a fan of it? And if you are, why? Please let me know. And I'm sure that depending on the news source, there would be others that would be applauding this, others that would be deriding it, whatever that is. But those are the facts on the ground, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this. And so that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please, feel free to subscribe to me here on YouTube as well. I should probably mention that a little bit more. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.